better late than never. Hey aficionados, Sean here, and I know this is super late, but I really did want to still do a best of list for 2019. So I was able to edit up some videos and edit up my favorites from the year that I reviewed. I still have a huge backlog of videos to get through. It's been a bit of a chaotic year, but I really did still want to do this video. So really quick, I'm going to try and make this quick. Same rules as previous. I'm only doing one beer per brewery. I'm not doing honorable mentions for each brewery this year just to kind of keep it even quicker. And again, if it's a beer that I've put on the list in the past, I cannot put it on the list again. Now, before I get into beer number 10, I do just have two quick overall honorable mentions that I want to get into. Two beers that just missed making the list. And in no particular order, we have SpindleTap, Diamonds in My Mouth, out of Texas. It's a hazy double IPA with Mosaic, Citra, and Galaxy hops. Can't go wrong with those hops, and you can't go wrong with this hazy IPA from SpindleTap, especially if you're in Texas. Check this one out. And we also have Firestone Walker with their Anniversary Ale number 23. You really can't go wrong with any of Firestone Walker's anniversary barrel-aged beers, and no exception with this one. All right, so coming in at number 10, we have a beer that might not necessarily be better than the two honorable mentions that I had, but it's a beer that just really surprised me and was super memorable and fun, and I just felt like I had to include it on this list because it just left such an impact on me, really. It's from Magnify out of New Jersey, and it's their Grandma's Famous Recipe. Now, this one is an Imperial Sweet Potato Casserole Sour. It's brewed with sweet potatoes, marshmallows, maple syrup, and fall spices. Now, when I initially heard that, I wanted to pick it up just for like curiosity's sake to try it. But once I tried it, I wish I'd picked up more because it's such a fun, drinkable beer. Like everything about it somehow works. The sweet potato casserole character works. It's like just sour enough. It's really complex and it's just super fun. Like in terms of fall beers, in terms of like that pumpkin-y spice style beers, this is one of the best ones that I've ever had. And again, it just surprised me and it was fun and interesting and it deserved a spot on this list. Coming in at number 9, I believe this is the first time this brewery has made this top 10 list, but we have Burlington Beer Company with their Sublimated Dreams double IPA. So this one is brewed with New Zealand hops, and I'm just a sucker for New Zealand hops apparently because I really love the fruity, bright hop character in this one. And I've had a lot of Burlington IPAs, and this one has stood out to me the most so far. And I think I said it when I recorded the review that it was probably going to reappear on this list, and here it is at number 9. Coming in at number 8, we have another brewery that is new to this list. We have New Glarus with their Serendipity. Now, I actually had a hard time picking which beer to represent New Glarus with on this list, but I knew that they had to be represented on this list because I reviewed 3 different fruit beers or sour ales from them this year, and all 3 of them were incredible. I reviewed all of them with Miguel too, and he also loved all of them, but Serendipity was the standout for me. It's a fruit beer, sour, tart beer with apples, cranberries, and cherries. I think I said in the review that it just kind of tasted like juicy juice, just like the fruity flavors in this one. And the fruity flavors that New Glarus has in all of their fruit beers that I've had to this point, they're just incredible. Some of the best fruit beers out there. So you got to check them out if you can get the chance to. At number 7, we have a beer from FiftyFifty Brewing Company out of their Eclipse series of barrel-aged Imperial Stouts, which I reviewed a few of this year for the first time. But this one is their Eclipse BH, which is Bourbon barrel-aged Imperial Stout, and the barrels that are used for this one are Basil Hayden barrels. Really enjoy this Imperial Stout. It's one of those few barrel-aged Imperial Stouts that sort of passes that Bourbon County test for me, and I just love the complexity in this one. And it's one of those beers that you can just sit down with and like pick out a bunch of flavors over the course of drinking it. Really good stuff. Really good stuff from FiftyFifty. So definitely going to be looking out for more of their barrel-aged beers in the future. Coming in at number 6, we have another very fun beer and another very good beer. This is from Great Notion. It's their Blueberry Muffin Sour. So as the name indicates, it is a blueberry sour designed to taste like blueberry muffins, and it lives up to the name. I mean, this is a beer that a lot of people will like. It's super palatable, and like it literally just tastes like fresh blueberry muffins with the sourness, the tartness. Super good stuff. Like when it comes to Great Notion, this is one of the beers that I know them by the most, and you have to check this one out, especially if you're a fan of sours. Coming in at number 5, we have our annual Goose Island Bourbon County entrant. This year it is Mon Cheri. So of the variants that I was able to try this year, this one was my favorite, just a little bit more than the Café de Olla. I just really like what the cherry and the brown sugar bring to the base Bourbon County. It really has this nice like cherry, almond, almost like amaretto quality to it. It just works really well. And again, this was my favorite variant of the ones that I tried this year. At number 4, we have another brewery that is no stranger to this list. It is Equilibrium out of New York with Laboratory Waves. This one is a 10.2% triple IPA, and I have said this before, I'm going to say it again. When it comes to triple IPAs, Equilibrium is putting out some of the best ones in the country. I mean, it doesn't get much bigger and juicier than this triple IPA from Equilibrium. So if you like big, juicy, hazy triple IPAs, check out Equilibrium. Just about any of their triple IPAs are worth seeking out. Coming in at number 3, we have another fun and another interesting beer that seems to be a little bit of a theme to this year's list. But when it comes to fun and interesting beers, you can pretty much always rely on Funky Buddha to deliver. And they absolutely deliver when it comes to Morning Wood. This one is an Imperial Porter aged in whiskey barrels. It's got coffee, maple syrup, and bacon flavor. This is literally like the epitome of like fun, interesting, and very good beers. It's got everything, and everything works together. Like it's such a crazy amount of different flavors that just all cohesively work together. It's hard for me to believe that there isn't some sort of like extract or some sort of like weird sorcery going on in this beer, but the maple works, the bacon works, the coffee works, the barrel works, and it's all in like perfect harmony. I mean, their maple bacon coffee porter is really good, and then the imperial version of that, Wide Awake It's Morning, is really good, and then you throw in like the barrel on top of that, and it's just like incredible. It's one of the most interesting beers I've tried in my life, and it deserves a spot at number 3. At number 2, we have another new brewery to this list. It is District 96 out of New City, New York, and it's their Photo Op IPA. When I first drank this beer, I knew that it was going to be on this list, and I knew it was going to be towards the top. Not exaggerating, within the past year or so, this is one of my favorite and one of the best hazy New England style IPAs that I've had. I just love the creamy, lychee, tropical flavors that this beer has. And I said it in the video, and I'll say it again. This beer is up there with something like Treehouse and Foam. District 96 might be my favorite hoppy beer producer in New York now, and all their IPAs are worth seeking out. Now, coming in at number 1, the brewery really should not be that much of a surprise at this point. This brewery pretty much dominates this top spot on my list almost every year. We have Treehouse, and it's their Jjjulius, or Double Dry Hop Julius. Julius on steroids, whatever you want to call it. This is New England IPA perfection. I'm not going to get into the whole Monson versus Charlton debate, but when I first drank this beer, it brought me back to old school Treehouse. And when it comes to hazy IPAs, when it comes to New England style IPAs, it's still pretty much Treehouse and then the field. And this beer is like the perfect example of that. It is world-class hazy IPA from a world-class brewery. And again, if you have access to Treehouse, you have to check out their stuff. But specifically like Jjjulius, it's one of the best single IPAs that they put out. And here it is at number 1. Once again, Treehouse on top of my best of year list. All right, so that is going to wrap up my best of 2019 list. Once again, I'm sorry this is coming out so late. I say this every year, but I really do want to become more regular with my uploads, and I really want to get caught up on editing, so hopefully that can finally happen this year. But either way, there will be another list like this coming out next year, hopefully a little bit more on time. But the world is a pretty crazy place right now, so I just want to wrap this up by saying stay safe, everyone. And for those of you who have stuck with me through everything, thank you. And just keep drinking good beer and appreciating good beer. And do it responsibly and passionately. Thanks for watching.